Christmas Eve boxes. Do you do a Christmas Eve box or not? Now, lately online, I have seen quite a few people saying they don't do Christmas Eve boxes, they don't do this, they don't do that because it's extra money for the parents. And I get that, I really do. I feel that there's a lot happening in the world at the moment, and with Christmas, there just seems to be more and more traditions coming in, and it's really difficult to keep up. However, I like the idea of a Christmas Eve box. But when I looked online and I put in what to put in a Christmas Eve box, this one post had 19 different things to put in a Christmas Eve box, which I think is ridiculous. 19 things. I don't feel that they need it, especially Christmas the next day and they're going to get a few more gifts anyway. I feel that is going to the extreme. Hi, my name is Rachel. I'm a solo mum to one, and on this channel I like to talk everything budgeting, saving, frugal living, and right now everything to do with Christmas. So if you like that kind of thing, then do hit that subscribe button. So today I want to talk through these 19 different things that you are meant to put in a Christmas Eve box and what I actually do for a Christmas Eve box for my son. The first thing to put in a Christmas Eve box is pyjamas, and I agree with that. That's something I do. I put pyjamas in my son's Christmas Eve box. However, I no longer put in Christmas pyjamas in his Christmas Eve box. I just put warm winter pyjamas that he can wear for the rest of the winter. I have never seen a point in putting Christmas pyjamas in a Christmas Eve box that they're going to wear for what, 2, 3, 4 nights before they probably get them dirty. So I don't see the point in putting Christmas pyjamas in a Christmas Eve box, and that's why I do a 1st of December box and I put the Christmas pyjamas in there so that he can wear them all year. I always buy a size up anyway, so it'll at least last me 2 years. But in the Christmas Eve box, I put in normal winter pyjamas that he can wear to keep himself warm. Now, this year, he absolutely loves football. He is a big Arsenal fan, just like his dad. So I found a pair of Arsenal pyjamas on Vinted for £2. So I bought those and they'll be arriving soon to put in his Christmas Eve box. Number 2 is a pair of Christmas socks. Now, again, I don't put Christmas socks in his Christmas Eve box. If I put socks in, I usually just put some bed socks in just to keep his feet warm in the evening. But sometimes I would do it if I find a cheap pair, but if I don't find any, I'm not going to stress myself out by trying to get some. So if I come across a cheap pair of winter socks, I'll pick them up for his Christmas Eve box. If I don't, he can use the ones that he's already got. Number 3 is a pair of slippers. I don't bother with a pair of slippers. I don't buy the Christmas slippers either, especially for kids. They're just going to outgrow them by the time the following year comes round. So you're going to spend all that money just for a few days or a couple of weeks before they get put away. So what's the point in buying Christmas slippers? If I was going to buy slippers, I would just buy some basic slippers for him to have. But he has slippers already, so I'm not going to buy any new ones until he actually needs them. Number 4 is a Christmas movie. Now, I used to put in a Christmas movie all the time. I used to go and get a cheap one from the charity shop, but we don't watch Christmas movies on DVD anymore at home. He does watch them if we're in the car, but I also have plenty of Christmas DVDs anyway that he can watch if we are going off to see Santa or something. So I don't put a Christmas movie in, but we do watch a Christmas movie every single Christmas Eve, and it is usually Elf that we watch. Number 5 is a Christmas book. Now, I do put a Christmas book in his Christmas Eve box, and it is the same Christmas book every single year, and that is The Night Before Christmas because it is a classic. So he will have that in his Christmas Eve box every single year because I absolutely love that book, and so does he. Number 6 is a Christmas colouring book. Now, when my son was much smaller, this is something that I did put in, and I know that my nieces have them because they absolutely love colouring. But my son isn't a big colouring fan anymore. He doesn't like to colour as much. It's kind of hit or miss. So I feel it'll be a waste of my money to do that. But I have picked up a football activity book that I was going to put in his stocking. But instead, I'm going to put it in his Christmas Eve box. And it's lots of different football activities that he can do that I know he will actually do and he will enjoy. Number 7 is a board game. Now, I don't bother with a board game because it's not something that we would do on Christmas Eve, because it's more about us snuggling up on the sofa. And he's got his little activity book as well that we will do. And if I put too much in, he's not going to do everything. So just put in 1 or 2 things in for him to do on Christmas Eve. He doesn't need a lot of stuff because it will just go to waste. But if a board game is something that you do as a family, maybe adding a little travel game in there or something they would enjoy, but for us it's not something that we do. Number 8 is reindeer food. Now, I do put reindeer food in because my son's still at the age where he will put things out for Santa every Christmas Eve. I don't think I have many years left of it, but I will put reindeer food in the Christmas Eve box. But usually we've made it previously. We've made it beforehand throughout December. So I just put it to one side where he can't see it. Then I add it into the Christmas Eve box. Number 9 is hot chocolate. This is something that I do, and I do put 2 different hot chocolates in, which a lot of people wouldn't. I put in like a hot chocolate cone that's got the hot chocolate powder and the marshmallows and the sprinkles and all that. But I also put in a hot chocolate stirrer or a hot chocolate bomb that he can add into the milk. So depending on what he wants to do. But on Christmas Day, we have another hot chocolate in the morning. So whatever one he uses on Christmas Eve, we'll use the next one Christmas morning for breakfast. Number 10 is a letter from Santa. So I don't put the letter from Santa in because I have always done the Royal Mail, where you send off your letter to Santa and they give a response. And when it's delivered through the post, my son absolutely loves having something with his name on. So I don't add a letter from Santa into his Christmas Eve box. He usually gets that through the post anyway. Number 11 is a Christmas cookie. Now, sometimes I put a Christmas cookie in, or I will put in a Christmas lolly, or I will put in one of those big giant gold chocolate coins, because he preferred to have that than cookies. I put cookies in before, but he doesn't always eat them. Instead, it's best if we make them beforehand and he just has them whenever he wants one on Christmas Eve. But in his Christmas Eve box, I usually put a chocolate coin or a chocolate lolly in instead. Number 12 is to add in some marshmallows. I don't put any mini marshmallows in because I've always got them in a hot chocolate station, so I don't see the point in buying them twice, or I don't see the point in putting them in his Christmas Eve box to put them back in the jar with the mini marshmallows. Instead, I have this year, for the first time, I don't even know if he will like it, is one of those marshmallow toppers. They're like £1 in B&M. I put one of those in just to see if he likes it, but I'm not putting mini marshmallows in the Christmas Eve box when they are on my hot chocolate station. Number 13 is to add in some popcorn. So I don't actually add in popcorn to my son's Christmas Eve box because I've always got popcorn because I make my own anyway. I don't buy the packet ones from the shop. So I make my own popcorn. So it's always there on the side whenever we watch a movie, or he just feels like a snack, he'll just have a handful of popcorn. So I don't put popcorn in the Christmas Eve box. Number 14 on this list was a candy cane. Again, I don't put candy canes in because they're on the hot chocolate station. So why give an extra one in the Christmas Eve box? I just rather put them in the hot chocolate station, and then he can just add it into his hot chocolate when he wants to. Number 15 was a small toy. Now, I have always put a small toy in for my son. This year, I have actually picked up some Christmas Lego, and we can actually do that on Christmas Eve together and build the Christmas Lego. Now, my plan is, over the next few years, is to each year buy some kind of Christmas Lego, and every year we sit down and we build the Lego together, because as my son's getting older, the traditions have to change with it. So we are going to start a new tradition that he doesn't know about yet, but actually building Christmas Lego every Christmas and having a Christmas display. So every Christmas Eve, he will get some Christmas Lego in his Christmas Eve box. And then when we get the decorations down the following year, we will build it up and wait to see on Christmas Eve what Lego he has then. It's a tradition that my son and I would like. You might like it, you might not. But I actually bought the Christmas Lego from the TikTok shop for like £1 something. And it looks really, really good. So I'm looking forward to starting that tradition with my son. But if your little one wants a toy or something to play with, the things that I have picked up before is a Hot Wheels toy or something that is under £2 to £3. I haven't bought anything over £5 before for his Christmas Eve. It is a very small little toy that I've picked up for him because I don't want to give him a big massive present when it's Christmas Day the next day, and he's going to have quite a few presents then from other members of the family, not just me. Number 16 was a cookie decorating kit. I don't put a cookie decorating kit in the Christmas Eve box because I don't see the point, because I'm going to be making Christmas cookies with him during the day on Christmas Eve, and I usually give the Christmas Eve box at night, so it feels like a bit of a waste for me. So I don't bother putting a cake decorating kit into their Christmas Eve box. Number 17 is a personalised ornament. I don't do this for my son anymore on Christmas Eve. I used to, when we first started the Christmas Eve box, I used to put in a Christmas ornament for him. But now I actually buy him a personalised Christmas ornament that he will like, and I give it to him when he is decorating his tree in his bedroom. So it's just a little something extra that I do for him every single Christmas, but I don't actually put it in a Christmas Eve box. Number 18 is a Christmas bath bomb. I used to put in a Christmas bath bomb in his Christmas Eve box because he used to love having baths or showers in the evening before he went to bed. But as he's getting older, he says he prefers to have them in the morning. He doesn't have to worry about it for the rest of the day. He can put his pajamas on and climb into bed. So I don't put a bath bomb in his Christmas Eve box, but I do buy him a bath bomb because they do Christmas bath bombs in Home Bargains that when you drop it in the bath, after it's all dissolved, there's a little Christmas toy. So maybe in the morning on Christmas Eve, I will give it him then, rather than actually put it in his Christmas Eve box. Number 19 is to add in some pens, pencils, and a notepad. Now, if you want to use that notepad to know who bought you gifts for Christmas, so you can write a thank you note, I get that. But for little kids, I don't see the point because they've written their letter to Santa. My son has usually written his thank you note to Santa as well to leave out on Christmas Eve. So I don't see the point in adding a pen and pencil and notepad in his Christmas Eve box. I would rather put that in his Christmas stocking instead. But that is my take on the Christmas Eve box of what I put in and what I don't put in from this list that I found online. But I put on the screen now the things that I do put in my son's Christmas Eve box. But what I try to do is make sure that the stuff that goes in the Christmas Eve box is stuff that he can have that evening, and it's not just extra junk that is going to stay in the home after Christmas Eve. So the pajamas he's going to wear over again, the socks, if I buy him winter bed socks, they're going to be worn over and over again. The Lego, yes, it's a Christmas Lego, but it's a tradition that we are about to start this year. So all the things in the Christmas Eve box is to be used that evening, and then put away for Christmas Day stuff to come in the next day. So that is my take on what to put in a Christmas Eve box. But let me know in the comments what you put in your Christmas Eve box, or do you not even bother? Now, as I was talking to Mum about this the other day, we were chatting about her Christmas, and she said her stocking, she got an apple, an orange, a colouring book, a handkerchief and a small toy. And that's all that she had in her stocking. So when I was a kid, my mum went overboard and did bigger stockings because as times changed, that's what happened. And now I've got my own son. Times have changed again, and there's Christmas Eve boxes and the 1st of December box. So I understand why people don't want to do them, but things change as the generation goes. And if my son ever decides to have children, which he says he wants 5 of them, so, you know, we'll see. But when he has children, there'll be different traditions and new traditions that he can start with his family as well. So yes, some people don't like doing it, and I get that, and that's completely understandable. Everyone's got to do their own thing for Christmas because I think it's a very personal thing. But I like these traditions. These are something that I want my son to remember that I did for him. So this is something that I want to do every Christmas with my son while he's young, because it won't last forever. But again, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you found value from this video, don't forget to share it with somebody else so they find value from it as well. Also, hit that like button so I know that you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any future videos from me. And I hope whenever you're watching this, you're having a good morning, good day, or good evening. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.